I'm spending about 100,000 per day on Meta through my agency, Olifant Digital, and in this video I will walk you through our exact ad account structure that we are using to scale brands in different categories in different countries, and this is what works best right now. The thing is that after Meta made the Andromeda update, people were confused on what they need to be doing exactly, and I will break down exactly how I structure my campaigns and why. And basically, this is what you learn: how to structure your entire ad account, how to optimize it for maximum ROI, what to do if you have multiple products that you are advertising, and a live walkthrough through one of my accounts. So let me cover the campaign structure first. So this is how it looks on a high level view. And basically you have different stages. You have cold traffic, you have warm traffic, which is based on engagement. You have remarketing, with two ad sets, one for website visitors and one for people that added to cart or initiated checkout. You have also one more remarketing ad set, which is with catalog, again for remarketing, and you have retention. This is what you need. You need like 5 campaigns in your account, and the last one depends if you have retention in your brand. Because with some products that we are selling, like devices, people just buy the device one time, so they don't need a retention campaign. But if you are selling apparel, jewelry, or like beauty supplements, you need retention campaigns as well. So let me break it down on a fundamental level. The first campaign is about prospecting. Here you need to be using Advantage Plus audience, meaning only one ad set, and inside you have to exclude people that bought from you in the last 60 days and people that visited your website. Inside this campaign you need to have about 20 to 30 unique ads, and then you need to put a budget on the campaign level. The budget depends on how much you can afford to spend, but the minimum I would say is between $100 and $200. The bidding strategy should be maximize number of conversions. And here you can also add targets for your team based on what is your break-even CPA. The second campaign is engagement. Here you need to be targeting people that like your page, they made a comment, they shared a video, they watched a video, but they didn't click on your ads. So they haven't visited your website, they haven't added to cart, they didn't reach checkout, and they didn't purchase. So you need to exclude people that go to the website. To the third remarketing campaign, this is like your cold traffic, where you're remarketing two different audiences. One that is pretty much visiting the website, but is not adding to cart or purchasing. And the second one is for people that added to cart or initiated checkout in the last 90 days, but they didn't purchase. And the visitors one, you can use last 30 days. And what I see to convert very well for bottom of the funnel is also having a catalog. But here it's very important for you to use view content, initiate checkout, and add to cart for the last 60 days. And here again, you're excluding purchasers in the last 45. So the idea is for you to have a full funnel from top to bottom. And to show you a live example of how this works is, here is one of my accounts. Here I have a mix between my old campaign structures and my new one. So basically, my new campaign structure is with this specific campaign, which is called Olifant Prospecting P1, meaning phase 1, and then I have the product name. If you have multiple products that you're running for cold traffic, you have to just have identical structure with multiple campaigns. So you can have like 3 campaigns for, let's say, t-shirts, 3 campaigns for hoodies, 3 campaigns for hats, and you get the idea. Now, when I jump into this specific campaign settings, so I can share them with you, the first thing is I'm using sales objective, campaign budget, then this is my bidding strategy, highest volume or value, then this is the audience that I'm using. In terms of audience segmentation, I have the engaged audience, which is add to cart, initiated checkout, web traffic, last 180 days. And for the existing customers, I'm using last 180 days. What you can do here is you can also import your customers from Shopify into this specific audience. This brand doesn't have so much data, so this is why I'm using only this specific audience. Then on the next page, I have only one ad set. And in the ad set itself, I'm using purchase event. And here, what is very important is for you to make different changes into who is seeing your ads. So basically you have to switch your setup, and then you have to exclude people that go to your website for the past 2 months and also people that bought. Because the idea of P1 and cold traffic campaigns for prospecting is to bring new audience to your brand. This is the main objective of this campaign, which is why I have it set up like this. Then everything else is automated, like from Facebook, like Advantage Plus audience, Advantage Plus placements, or whatever they call them. So this is how it looks. And then on ad level, I have like 20 ads inside. This is a new campaign. It still needs data, but you need to have a variety of creatives like UGC, image ads, carousels. Like you have to think through all of the campaign types, not campaign types, but like creative types, and put them together so Facebook can pick the best ad for the best person. This is how the new algorithm is working. And basically, this is my top of funnel. In my middle of funnel, I'm only using engagement as I shared. So here I'm only targeting people that liked my page, they shared one of my ads, they made a comment, they watched a video. So this is like middle of the funnel. And here I'm excluding web traffic, add to cart, initiated, checkout. So to give you an example, with this specific brand, here I'm using larger audience in terms of people that engaged on Instagram and Facebook for the last 365 days. And the reason why is because the engagement is not very high for this brand, so it makes sense to use a longer time frame. And here I'm excluding web visitors, add to cart, initiated checkout, and purchase. So that way I know that this is truly middle of the funnel. And now for my bottom of the funnel campaign, what I'm doing here is I'm remarketing heavily. So I have currently only one ad set that I'm testing with, as this is a new campaign, in which I'm basically using initiated checkout and add to cart as an audience. So that way I'm targeting my hottest traffic. And based on how this works for the next 1 or 2 weeks, I will decide. If this performs very well, then I can launch a second ad set, which is targeting only web visitors, and then I would exclude add to cart, initiate checkout, and purchasers. So that way I can know that this ad set is targeting one specific audience only. And if it makes sense for your brand, you also need to run retention campaigns, meaning people that bought from you for the, let's say, last 1 year, but they haven't purchased in the last month or the last 2 months, depending on what is your brand and what you are selling exactly. And this is how I structure my campaigns in order for me to get the maximum ROI possible for each client. And of course, you have to test it for yourself. I am still having some legacy campaigns that are still running, and I'm gonna give them more time and see when I'm gonna pretty much transition to this specific new structure. But you get the idea. It's good for you to like have a good separation between where your budget is being spent. And when you click on the breakdown, when you click on audience segments, what you'll be able to see is that my new campaign, for example, for cold traffic, is spending all of my budget in this specific audience, like new audience. And this is exactly what I want this campaign to do. My second campaign, in this case my third campaign, which is for the bottom of the funnel, it's targeting only engaged audience, and all of my budget is being spent there. So this is the best way to go about it right now, and that's why I made new campaigns in order for me to structure the account in a better way, because sometimes what I see is that your audience segments are not working. If we take a look at one of my legacy campaigns, basically when I click on it, most of my ad spend was being spent on unknown audience. So I have no idea, is this new audience, is it engaged audience, is it existing customers? It makes more sense for you to have a better visibility into your entire funnel and know what is your real new customer CPA. And when you structure it like that, you know this number. For example, for this specific brand, for the last 7 days, this campaign spent 370 euro. I got 7 sales. All of these 7 sales were from new audience, and my real customer CPA is 52 euros in this specific example.